Are you ready to rumble? Wrestling match number 36 on An Action a Day keeps global capitalism away. Are you ready to rumble? In this corner, we have corporate greed. In the other corner, we have the people. The World Wrestling Entertainment, formerly it was WWF, is one of the most successful spectacles of our times. Regardless of the blatant sexism, racism, and general bigotry involved in this spectacle, every day millions of people watch it. As activists, we have to learn from the successes of capitalism and, where appropriate, use this cultural knowledge for subversive purposes. With this action, you take the well-worn script and ritual of wrestling and use it to highlight an important issue, creating an effective piece of agitprop. Agitational propaganda has a long history, dating back to its first use as the name of a Soviet Union agency for the dissemination of communist political propaganda. But later it became known as the vehicle for delivering any direct, overtly political message. It doesn't even have to be political, it seems. Nowadays, as one source puts it, even a television cartoon might be described as agitprop, if it could be interpreted as a marketing ploy to sell toys. The term is used for any form of mass media that subtly, or not so subtly, tries to influence public opinion. Agitprop uses stock characters, good and evil, and simple messages to deliver a strong message. Through wrestling, you already have the building blocks for the action. In this case, the bad guy in the ring is the local developer, a corporation using sweatshop labor, or even global capitalism itself. The good guy is the people, a local group, the earth, to give a few examples. Maybe the referee is a journalist, trying hard to find a balance, but always siding a little more with the bad guy. The announcer, maybe, is a newspaper or TV owner, wetting his chops at the prospect of a spectacle. Because the owner gets paid in advertising, he will take steps to replace the referee if the ref sides too much with the good guy. The battle can be summarized as: bad guy uses dirty tactics to start winning, throwing dust in eyes, paying off the referee perhaps. Just when it looks like all is lost, the people come together and overcome the bad guy to save the day. For the wrestling fan, picture Hulk Hogan in one of his patented frenzies overcoming anything that stands in his way. Why wrestling match? This action uses a cultural convention to convey a message, and it is also an effective way of representing a struggle, identifying an oppressor, and calling people together to work for a solution. This is also a fun action to do and perform. It's about playing at wrestling, which many of us did with our neighborhood crowd when we were kids, and which the WWE is all about. It's all performance, rather than the real thing. This action is entertaining enough and potentially large enough that people will stop and watch it. The virtue of having a small crowd is that as soon as you get some people watching, you will probably draw in more. You get all the more ears for your message to reach. What you need. For this action, you can go soft, medium, or hardcore, depending on your available resources, people, and time. If you don't have much time, all you need is some string to create a square, your wrestling ring, actors, a referee, your bad guys and the good guys, who are, we would hope, not all guys, an announcer with a megaphone and a script. If you have more time and resources, you can create a more formal ring. Several old mattresses will do the trick, with makeshift posts and ropes, and you are ready to rumble. That's it. The Power of Song, number 37. Oh boy, this is great. You get to hear me sing in a couple minutes. Song is one of the most powerful unifying weapons we have. From the American Civil Rights Movement to the labor movement to the raging grannies and local merry pranksters, there has always been song. We Shall Overcome, Solidarity Forever, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, and the Internationale are among the best known tunes in North America. There is something innately powerful in a good song that can't be captured in the two simple lines of the standard protest march chant. The 2001 FTAA negotiations in Quebec City saw large demonstrations, a huge people's summit, and a tremendous police presence. For its part, FUNK, Fighting Unaccountable Naughty Corporations, used one van and two cars to take 20-odd people from Edmonton to Quebec City. Most of the FUNK members were a little tired of the usual chants and rituals and protest rituals. And on the 3-day drive to Quebec City, we used walkie-talkies to write collective songs, sharing verses between the three vehicles. Eventually, we came up with 4 songs: Picture 22 people in gas masks storming down the streets of Quebec, tear gas in the air, megaphones in hand, all singing, "Come join the movement," to the tune of The Ants Go Marching. Come join the movement, boys and girls, it's fun, it's fun. We'll band together and get them on the run, on the run. There's lots of us and few of them, don't let them get any ram. We all go marching down around the wall again. They say this is democracy, they're wrong, they're wrong. We say this is hypocrisy, we're right, we're right. Democracy, hypocrisy, it's all frig and fallacy. We all go marching down around the wall again. Paul Martin is lying to you for shame, for shame. Tony Blair is screwing you again, again. George Bush is using you. Get off your ass, let's stage a coup. And we all go marching down around the wall again. The gap between the rich and poor, it grows, it grows. We've got less and they've got more, it shows, it shows. Workers are being shown the door, never forget what we're fighting for, and we all go marching down around the wall again. Capitalism continues to thrive, resist, resist. The revolution is coming alive, enlist, persist. The issues at hand are black and white. Is there no end to this fascist shite? And we all go marching down around the wall again. The media say we're doing this for kicks. They're pricks. We're doing this because the system needs a fix. It licks. We won't give in to their demands. United we stand, hand in hand. And we all go marching down around the wall again. The reduction of our forests, it's a crime, with carbon sinks depleting all the time. Kyoto was a political joke, we want the president to choke, and we all go marching down around the wall again. So come join hands with us today, defend, my friend. We're fighting for our children's rights, for women and men. As NAFTA drains our rights away, we hope you'll join us the day we all go marching down around the ledge again. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Kelly Green singing to the tune of The Ants Go Marching In. Come join the movement. Written by Mike Hudema and some fine folks from Edmonton, where I am currently. Why the power of song? Songs are a terrific way of contributing to a protest. They require no storage or upkeep, and they are inclusive. Anyone, young or old, rich or poor, can participate. Songs provide you with a way of getting your message across in a creative and listener-friendly way. It's a challenge to write a funny song, and the funnier, the better. If you don't do anything else in this book, I encourage you to develop your own songs and sing them at the next rally. Take along sheets with the words printed on them to hand out. Then look at the people's faces as you pass by. People light up when they hear songs. Give them the words and they'll join. What you need. All you need for this action is an issue, a group of friends, and a tune. Access to photocopying helps too. Any songs that have easy lyrics and rhythm will work nicely. We've adopted everything from nursery rhymes and children's songs to the music of Twisted Sister. Songs with repeating choruses are good to use because they allow people who don't have the words to join in. Action songs are also good because it's all about drawing people in, including them. And the more ways you can find to do that, the better. For easy North American songs, you can use What Do You Do With a Drunken Sailor? She'll be coming around the mountain. Or If You're Happy and You Know It. These three are easy, and they all have repeating verses, and you can develop actions to make them more participatory. Christmas carols are another easy starter. Just sit down, brainstorm the issues you want to cover, and start writing. If you're really stuck, you can even just adopt our version of Come Join the Movement. We give you our full permission. You can change a few lines around in that one and make it relevant for pretty much any issue. We used it for an anti-war rally and an anti-tuition rally 2 days in a row. When you have your song, practice it a few times and print up some sheets with the words so that people can join in. This is one of the quickest actions you can do. Songs are the action that keeps on giving. Number 37, songs. Mural painting by number. Change for Children is an Edmonton-based organization that works with children in Latin America. Their latest endeavor is a mural project in which they work with inner-city youth and use art to bring about change. I had the pleasure of working with Mario, one of the youth from Change for Children. I met him when student groups across North and South America were organizing against the GATS FTAA negotiations, the next round of meetings in Quito, Ecuador, and Canada's involvement in the entire process. Mario came to one of our meetings with the idea of doing a mural as his form of expression against the talks. Everyone loved the idea, but if it was to become a true community project, how could others get involved? The idea Mario came up with was perfect. The artists would work with us to produce an overall design for a painting. We would break the drawing into pieces by basic color, very similar to the paint by numbers type of art that many of us remember from our childhoods. From that point on, people could simply drop by the site, pick up a paintbrush, and fill in the blank pieces of the mural. We purchased paint and brushes, then, using a wall in the Students' Union building, our whole group, working together, came up with a general design and outline for the mural. The artists working with us divided the drawing into sections and identified the colors for each section. After that, at any one time, 2 to 12 people worked on various pieces of the mural painting, and it was pretty much finished within a week. Everyone who worked on it not only had a fun time, but also experienced the feeling of making a statement that would last well beyond the campaign. Why mural painting by number? This action has very much the same rationale as the power of song. Artists have an integral place in the struggle for a better world. Their tools have the ability to cut to the core of the issues, and just as important, to draw people into the discussions. Painting by numbers extends the artist's function to the community. It gives everyone the power and skill of the brush. This action helps to build community, it creates a lasting image, and gives people a chance to participate. What more can you ask for? What do you need? First, you need to come up with an idea for a visual statement, the drawing. In doing this, it is important to work with a larger community so that everyone has ownership over the entire process and the final product. Once you have an idea for the artwork, you need 1 or 2 people who have the ability to draw the outline and divide the drawing into sections. To avoid mistakes, you can start with a small-scale model that the participants can use as a guide when they start to work on the actual surface. Using an overhead projector to reproduce the small drawing on the wall makes things that much easier. Then it is off to the paint store, or perhaps, especially if you're lucky enough to have an eco-station, you can get donated or free paint. You might have to adjust your design to the colors you manage to get. With the paint and paintbrushes in hand and the basic design on the wall, all you need are volunteers to come out on the appointed day. Put a thick border of tape around the outline of the drawing so that you have a nice finished edge, and then everyone can just fill in the blanks. After the art is finished, you could have some sort of unveiling and put up a small plaque to let people know what the mural represents and why it's there. A volunteer appreciation potluck is also a good way of solidifying the community that you have just drawn together. Good luck and good painting. Garden car, number 39. And there is a lovely picture of the garden car. Number 39, in an action a day by Mike Hudema. 3 on the fun, from 1 to 4 on risk, depending on location, and heavy on the resources at 5. This is an action inspired by a photo on the cover of National Geographic magazine. The picture, taken in Tanzania, showed a broken down car filled with soil and turned into a garden. Planting a garden in a car is one of the best reclaim the streets actions a person could do. The 1980 Toyota Corolla that a bunch of us have been driving for years is now on its last legs, and when it finally gives out, my friends and I hope to place it in a strategic location, fill it with bags and bags of soil, and plant some seeds and a sunflower in it. Why a garden car? Reclaiming the streets is always a good form of action, and that's what this one is all about. We live in a car culture. It is difficult, if not dangerous, to ride a bike on the streets of major cities, and we lose trees and green space to roadways on a daily basis. Our natural environment is being gobbled up, all to enable us to move faster and consume more goods. Most of the time, old cars end up in the scrap heap or dump, where they further pollute our landscape. The garden car attempts to create a lasting resistance to the car culture by turning one of the greatest destroyers of our time into something that can produce life. The power of a single symbol can help change how we look and think about the world around us. Seeing junk as a possible life producer can help us think about working to build the world we want to live and play in. A garden car takes a heap of metal destined for the scrap heap and turns it into something useful. What you need. I wonder what you need for this. This action is one of the most resource-intensive actions in this book because for it to work, you need to get your hands on an old car or vehicle of some sort, and in particular, a broken down vehicle that otherwise no longer serves a useful purpose. When you have a vehicle that is no longer roadworthy, and in activist circles for some reason these cars do exist more often than not, take out all the usable parts and get ready to get dirty. Now you need soil, lots and lots of soil, enough to fill your car or vehicle to the window level. You need to pile the soil high, so to make sure that people going by will be able to see your beautiful creation. If you want to be especially labor intensive, you can cut off the roof of the vehicle. This will increase exposure and allow your plants to feel the effects of more sunlight and even some rain. Of course, if you leave the top on your car, you should also leave all the windows rolled down or take them out completely. That way the plants can grow out the windows and get more sun and greater visibility. Now you need to find a location. Where you put the car depends on how big a statement you want to make, how risky you feel, and how long you want your garden to last. And don't care too much about how long your garden stays in place. Then a roadway is ideal for you. Tow the vehicle out, fill it with pre-mixed soil and a few well-placed already grown flowers, and in less than 5 minutes you're on your way. If you're more concerned about the longevity of your plants or seeds, or even the longevity of your message, then placing your creation on your own or a friend's property may be your best bet. Consider making the car part of your own backyard garden or lawn. This gives you more control and the car is less likely to be seized. Get a group of guerrilla garden volunteers to help you with all of this. Whether it is in the quick or the long-lasting location, planting already grown flowers or plants lets people know immediately that your car is a garden and not just a car full of dirt. If your car is in a vulnerable location, make sure that you remove any identifiers or you can find yourself responsible for the cost of hauling it away and possibly more. If it is in a secure location, make sure that you look after your garden. Keep it nice, set up a schedule, and put your love into it. I might also recommend making sure you've drained all of the toxic fluids from that car. Singing trees, number 40. 3.5 for fun, only a half on risk, and low on resources at 2. Sometimes when you do actions, it's good not to do them as people, but to do them as other beings. We did this, for instance, when the G8 met in Kananaskis, Alberta, and the Canadian military decided that to ensure security, they needed to build a perimeter fence, which in turn meant cutting down several trees and putting a fragile ecosystem at risk. That was when the idea of the singing trees was born. As Jean Chrétien pulled into the convention center for a Liberal meeting, the singing trees were there in force. A couple of dozen trees sang beautiful songs to try to stop the Liberals from cutting down their friends. The trees also presented a petition signed by over 300 different species of trees, all urging the Liberals not to destroy the natural environment along with the rest of the world. Unfortunately, we live in a world that simply refuses to hear the call of nature. Every day, dozens of species vanish from our world forever. Trees are being cut down and the natural environment is being polluted and destroyed at a rate unparalleled in the Earth's history. Most of us, by our actions, refuse to live within our means. Since no one can hear the screaming of our natural environment, we need to speak for the trees. This action, in a very simple way, seeks to disturb the dominant worldview that the world is somehow just there for us, for human beings, that we are its masters rather than members of a complex web of relations. What you need. This is a difficult action when it comes to outlining the necessary resources because it could be done in so many different ways. The sky, or your imagination, is the only limit. To do the action of speaking for the trees, the prop list is fairly simple. A long petition with the signatures of various trees, for examples, paw prints would be appropriate, a few songs, and tree costumes. The tree costumes we used were cardboard cutouts painted forest green. With props in hand, all you need are enthusiastic participants and an appropriate location to make your statement. All right, going on to number 41. Corporate whore. I need to apologize right off the bat for the name of this action because it takes the word whore and uses it in a pejorative manner. Inga Muscio, author of Kant, A Declaration of Independence, has clarified the word and its true empowering meanings. Muscio uses a chapter on whores to show us that women who give, trade, or teach men about sexuality and what it means to be sexual are fulfilling an ancient and what should be a respected and revered role in our culture. This action takes up a complex subject. It uses words and images that are usually socially constructed in a way that takes power away from women, women-identified persons, and transgendered people. Again, the basis of this action is to take a culturally recognized symbol, the whore, and use that symbol to communicate something about the world we live in. This action should only be performed by feminists. It is important that your group members are conscious of how they are subverting, performing this kind of femininity capitalist that patriarchy has constructed as being okay for men to purchase. Corporate whore was created by Haley Dawn Nelson, a member of Earth. It was performed during the federal election campaign when Stockwell Day of the Canadian Alliance came to town for a fundraising dinner and speech. The action was essentially responding to the amount of money that corporations donate to political parties and candidates. We put up a small circus tent outside the meeting hall and placed a hat on a table outside the tent with a sign that read, "Donations welcome." When a delegate to the Alliance dinner walked by, one of our group would toss a quarter into the hat. The doors of the tent would open and a man would step out, dressed in a fake fur coat and a Stockwell Day mask. When Stockwell was fully out of the tent, the fur coat would drop to the floor and reveal corporate symbols painted all over Stock's scantily clad body. The fake Stockwell would do a little dance, then pick up his fur coat and disappear back inside the tent until another coin would drop. Why corporate whore? Until 2003, when the situation became too transparently gross even for the ruling federal Liberal Party to stomach, corporations and wealthy individuals footed most of the bills for the pro-business political parties. The private sector wants a political process that deals with issues from its point of view, and as a result, at election time, the real choices get watered down beyond recognition. And it doesn't seem to matter who you vote for. Big business always wins. This action calls into question the whole notion of corporate donations to political campaigns, and there's no more fun way to do this by putting a man in a dress. What you need. The first thing you need is a tent or something you can hide your corporate dancer in until showtime. Tarps or even a refrigerator box will work. When you have your tent, you now need a man, and it should be a man for this action, who is willing to dance and get his body painted. If you have time, do some research into the corporations that are lurking in the political shadows and come up with their logos. Banks and oil companies are the usual suspects. Get some body paint and get to work. Get a mask of the politician you're seeking to represent, or find a photo of his face, blow it up, paste it on some cardboard, and use a string to keep it on. Find a fake fur coat or an overcoat, a hat, work out some snazzy dance moves, and you're ready to move on down the line. Okay, I think I'm going to do... I'm going to call it. Where are we at? 23 minutes. Okay, that was Actions 37 through 41. An Action a Day Keeps Global Capitalism Away by Mike Hudema, 2004. A couple of quick notes. If you're still here, it referenced the 2008 G8 Summit in Kananaskis, Alberta. In 2025, this year, we're having another summit, but it's G7. We all know who that 8th member was and won't be attending, but there may be a guest in their place. At any rate, it is what it is. Come back next time if you want to hear the rest of this book. We got a little bit of it left to go. Hopefully we get that done before this month is out. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you around. Wow, that's